it is a disaster, really, a disaster. I have been trying to hire a writer, like a ghost writer. I am running something like 4 blogs, and most of everything that happens on the blogs comes from my writing, right? Which takes a lot of time. So I thought, why don't I find somebody that can write for me? So I will just outline what is that I want to say. Maybe I can make a video, so I say the things that I want to put on the page, but I don't have to type myself and to make the sentences. So this could be a very efficient way to run those blogs. And so I've been searching for these people, one person that can help me with this. And man, I have interviewed and tested like 10 people so far, and I didn't manage to find anyone who is, I don't say good in writing, but capable of making sentences that make sense in plain English, and they are not too convoluted. I mean, people, if you want a visitor to read your stuff, you gotta keep it simple. You cannot make it's not, you're not writing a contract, you're not writing a law paper. It's a blog post, and people read blog posts to get information, to get entertained, and they don't want to read the same sentence like 5 times because you made it too complicated. So here is my advice to all those that are trying to write something on a blog. Keep it simple. Make the sentences short. If every time you use and, you have to think, can I split this in 2 sentences with a full stop in between? Make your paragraphs short, because nobody wants to read a wall of text. It's scary. Like, people don't have the attention for that. The other thing, don't use adverbs. Don't use like actually, honestly, frankly. Well, from time to time it's okay, but you cannot really use these as a way of writing. That's plain wrong. The shorter you make your sentences, the better. If you say something in, I don't know, 30 words and you can say it in 17, go for the shorter version. Don't make it clever. No passive form in the sentence. So you just, if you want to say Jason was driving the car, you don't want to say the car was going to be driven by Jason, which sounds very bookish if you want, but it's not a book you're writing, and even in books you don't want to write like that. So Jason was driving the car. All right, I suggest you read On Writing by Stephen King. It's a very good book. It's a book about writing. So he wrote this book. It's called A Memoir of the Craft, and it goes to a very great length about how you should write. And then another thing, I suggest you take a course from Serious Bloggers Only. And even if you just start with that, it's kind of expensive. It's a paid community, so I think it's $59 per month. But if you do the first 2 modules, that's enough to get you in the right mindset of writing. So when you write, the most important thing in writing, the most important function of a sentence, what is it? And I'll give you one moment. Think about that. What is the most important function of a sentence? Most people say to deliver meaning, to make a point, but that's not true. In a blog, even in a book, the most important function of a sentence is to get the reader to read the next sentence. Okay, it's like a chain. If at some point you have a sentence that stops the flow, you have lost the visitor. So you don't want that. Every sentence must create this curiosity for the reader to go on and read. And this you do not only with the words, but also with the meaning, because people read, understand, they get curious, and then you bring them on a journey with your writing, all right? But the sentence has to be easy. It has to be short, to the point. Otherwise, people get bored and they leave. Now, what happened in my research for this person that would write for me? I gave them I gave them one article to write, and the thing is that as soon as I get it back, I do some basic checks, and I see that, man, I can't even start reading this article because already the first sentence is so convoluted that it's very hard. And then I think, okay, I will just try. Maybe I can save it. Maybe I can. Maybe it gets better, right? So I start to fix it, but then I realize, okay, it will take me a couple of hours to fix this thing, and I don't have 2 hours. If I have 2 hours, I would just write the damn thing by myself. It is a disaster. So at this point, I'm wondering, I need this person because I cannot scale up, I cannot grow if I'm alone. So I'm desperately looking for a writer. So if you're a writer, give it a shot. Just send me something, and probably we can work together. I don't have a huge budget for this, that's another problem. But yeah, I really need to partner up with somebody because otherwise it doesn't work. But again, I can teach people to write better, but only if their mindset is right. If you make a sentence and you talk about something, and in the next sentence you talk about something else, and there is no connection, you break the narrative flow. And if you do that, you lose the reader. I mean, your writing must have a point. And I'm so lost right now. I didn't think it was so hard to find people that write good. For me, it comes easy, so I thought, okay, this is an easy thing. But this makes me somehow value more what is it I do, because it's like I have a superpower. It just feels like that. And sometimes when I show to my partner, business partner, he comes with some text written by someone, say, hey, this is good, this has been proofread. Then I start reading, okay, there is the occasional grammar error, and that's a pity already if it's proofread. But the sentences don't make any sense. The meaning is not there. The narrative flow is not there. You start with something here, then you take it 3 paragraphs down. So why don't you put it together? It just doesn't make any sense. So again, I had to waste a couple of hours to rearrange the entire structure of this piece of text, and I don't want to do that. So I'm really trying to find a person that can do the job for me with a little guidance, and it's hard. So if you think you're a writer, if you have a blog, my suggestion to you is make sure you know how to write. Take courses. Don't assume that you know how to write. I did take courses. I read. And I read, so far, last 3 years, I've read 160 books. So I listen to books. I don't read them, but okay. It still goes in my head. And the way people put together the sentences, their arguments, this sticks. And I learned something. So do it as well. Do it yourself, and you'll see that your writing will get better. Nobody reads your stuff. Measure how much time people spend on page because this tells you either they're enjoying what you write or not. All right, I have a video about bounce rate, which actually is about time on page, so go watch that and measure from your Google Analytics how much time people are spending reading your page. That's very important. Okay, the more the better. Now I will close here this rant because I'm really disappointed, I'm sad, and I see that if I want to scale up, it's a very long journey. It is a disaster. Okay, ciao.